Story name: An Open Sea. Summer came and Buba, together with his friends Oscar the rabbit and Rico the hedgehog, went to a summer camp at the seaside. They were learning to sail, digging tunnels in the sand, swimming, and many other things. One day while they were building a huge sandcastle, Buba noticed something glittering in the sea. "Treasure!" cried Buba, jumping into the water and swimming as fast as he could. When he came nearby, he found that it was only a bottle. Yet he grabbed it with his teeth and swam back to the shore. Oscar and Rico pulled him out of the water, and while Buba was drying off, Oscar looked over the bottle. There is something inside." Rico pulled out the cork with one of his thorns and pulled out a palm leaf with something written on it. The three friends started reading. "Help! We shipwrecked on a lonely island. Our food and water is running out. The heat is immense. Please send us help." The three friends exchanged glances. "I will take food and water," said Rico. "Then I will prepare the sails," proposed Oscar. "And I am going for maps and a compass. Meet you on the ship in 1 hour," cried Buba, already running. In an hour the ship was ready, and the anchor weighed. Oscar climbed into the crow's nest on the top of the mast. Rico was taking care of the sails and ropes, and Buba was at the helm and following direction with the compass. There was a strong wind and the ship was sailing fast forward. All was quiet, and just when Buba intended to take a nap, Oscar cried anxiously, "Sharks, to the right." Buba grabbed the telescope and looked. A school of sharks was chasing a small whale. The whale was wounded, and the sharks were already very close. There was no time to lose. Buba turned the helm sharply to the right and cried, "Oscar, Rico, the whale in danger. Prepare for battle." Oscar climbed down in seconds, shaking with fear. "Battle? With the fearful sharks? Impossible." Rico was also worried. "I've heard horrible stories about the sharks. It is better to leave them alone. And we are on a rescue mission and have to hurry." "I know, but the whale also needs to be rescued. And if we do not help, then who will?" asked Buba. Oscar exchanged glances with Rico and said, "Unsure." "Maybe you are right, Buba. But how are we going to fight the sharks?" "I don't know yet, but I will search in the hold. I will be back in a while." Buba quickly got into the hold and looked around if he could find a fishing net and throw it over the sharks, or maybe a cannon, or maybe some of those special whistles which scare the sharks, but there was no fishing net, or cannon, or whistle. "But maybe if," thought Buba. Then he grabbed one chest and hurried up to the deck. During this time Rico hoisted all the sails, and even the tablecloth, and his handkerchief. Oscar was throwing into the sea everything unnecessary to make the ship lighter and faster. The ship was advancing at high speed, but the sharks were already reaching the whale. One of the sharks opened her jaws and, "Take cover!" cried Buba, lighting a match and squeezing his eyes. Oscar and Rico dove down and held their breath. Bam! 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 A dozen fireworks and rockets, left from the New Year celebrations, thundered into the sky. Thick smoke rose from the ship and formed into a huge sea dragon. Buba, Oscar, and Rico began screaming as loud as they could, although they were not sure how a sea dragon should sound. The shark stopped for a moment and swam away in panic. The whale was safe. Buba and Rico bandaged her wounded tail, and Oscar brought out the tastiest biscuits from the ship's supplies. "Thank you, boys," said the whale when at last she caught her breath. "If you were not a piece of cake," said Oscar, "we have coped with much bigger and more fearful creatures." "Really?" "But who are you?" asked the whale. "I am Oscar and this is Buba and Rico." "And what is your name?" "Kitty." "Come with us, Kitty," said Buba. "We are on a rescue mission, and a skilled swimmer like you will be very helpful." "I would like to come," said Kitty, "but I have to go back home. Mom and Dad are probably already worried." "Pity." "Well, we also have to go. Bye, Kitty." "Bye. And good luck with the mission." Kitty waved her tail. The three friends lifted the anchor and set sail. They sailed for the whole day, and just when Buba began to worry if they were heading the right way, Oscar cried, "Land!" Buba looked through the telescope and breathed a sigh of relief. Someone on the coast was waving desperately. Soon they dropped the anchor and the happy castaways got on board. They were very hungry and thirsty, and Rico prepared a real feast with biscuits and seaweed soup. Everybody wanted to go home as soon as possible, and after dinner they set sail. But their homeward voyage would not be so easy. Dark clouds covered the sky and a powerful storm pounced on the ship. "Hide in the cabin," cried Buba, while trying to keep the ship upright against the waves. The storm grew stronger and stronger. The waves were hitting and sweeping over the ship, and Buba, left alone on the deck, shivering in the cold, could hardly hold the slippery helm. Suddenly a huge wave swept over the ship. "Hold on!" cried Buba, clinging to the helm. The wave crashed onto the deck with terrific power, sweeping away everything in its path, and threw Buba overboard. Buba's legs were caught by something and he hung just above the waves. "Gotcha!" cried Oscar above him. "Hold on. We will pull you out." But another big wave hit the ship. Water and sea foam filled Buba's mouth and ears. "The ship is sinking," he heard someone cry with fear. Then he fell unconscious. Buba opened his eyes, spat out a gulp of seawater, and looked around. "What happened? Where am I?" "The ship sank," said Rico desperately. "All that is left is this piece of the mast. What will we do? We have no food, no water, in the middle of the sea." "Hey, see there!" jumped in Oscar, filled with joy. "Something is coming our way. We are saved. This is a ship." But it was not. The sharks surrounded them and started swimming in a circle, rattling their teeth. "Don't be scared," said Buba, trying not to shiver. "Rico, we need swords." Rico clenched his teeth, broke off his longest and sharpest thorns, and handed them out. "We can't stop them with this," said Oscar, taking 2 thorns and shaking his head. "We are doomed." One of the sharks smiled cunningly and dove. "She will attack us from below." "Hold on!" cried Buba. The water around splashed and broke into foam. Something hit the mast with immense power and threw it away. Seems like the sea cracked, and then a huge island emerged from the deep. "What is happening? What is this?" cried Oscar, terrified. Whatever it was scary for everyone. The sharks were swimming away as fast as they could. "Hello, boys," said a familiar voice. "Kitty?" exclaimed Buba, looking around surprised. "But how? From where?" But then Buba rubbed his eyes in unbelief. The island was not an island, but a huge whale. "Don't be scared," said Kitty. "This is Daddy. When the storm started yesterday, I thought you could be in danger. Together with Daddy we went looking for you, and here we are." "And just in time," smiled Buba, and sat down exhausted but relieved. At last they were safe. When later on they entered the harbor, everybody went out to welcome them. They had to retell their adventures at least 100 times, and everybody wanted Kitty's father to take them a short ride. Other stories about sea adventures. At the end it was really time to go to bed when Buba had an idea. Do you want to go in search of a pirate treasure tomorrow? Great idea! Exclaimed Oscar, Rico, and Kitty as one. South, decided, said Buba. Have a good sleep. Meet you on the quay at dawn.